Hello folks, and welcome to GED Microlearning, where we help you pass your GED math. So today's first question is a statistics and probability question. And it says, a bag contains 8 red marbles, 5 purple marbles, and 3 brown marbles. If a marble is chosen randomly from the bag, what is the probability that it is a red marble? Okay, so let's take this in by steps. So the first thing that you want to do is just find out the total number of marbles you have, right? So we have 8 plus 5 plus 3, that's 16. And then in the question they're asking us, what is the probability that you choose a red marble? Okay, so let's remind ourselves a little bit about probability. So in order to find the probability of anything, you would use this formula, right? So you would take the probability of getting the desired outcome divided by the total number of outcomes. Okay, so for example, let's say that we flip a coin and I ask you, what is the probability of getting heads? So you would say the probability of the desired outcome, the heads would be at the top, and then the denominator, the number at the bottom, is the total number of possible outcomes, right? So the probability of getting heads and the probability of getting tails. Okay, 1/2. Okay, so we want to do the same thing in this problem. So they've told us that the total number of marbles, in this case, we found out was 16, and now we have to find out the probability of getting a red marble. Okay, so again, we're going to use this formula that we just discussed. What is the number of red marbles, or our desired outcome in this case? It's 8, right? And what is the total number of outcomes, or the total number of marbles? It's 16. Okay, so it would be 8/16. And that, if you divide that out, it gives you 50%. Okay, so the probability in this case, if you randomly choose a marble from the bag, it's 50%. Question 2. So here, this question is going to ask you to extract data from, or use a formula rather. Okay, so it tells you you're planning a trip to a country that uses Celsius temperature scale. The temperature at your destination is 15 degrees Celsius. Use the table below to find the temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay, so they're telling us to change from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So we're going to use that formula. And all you have to do here is to use that data from the question and plug that number into the equation. Okay, so where it says C, you want to plug in 15, which is the value of in Celsius. So if you go ahead and do that, you multiply 9 times 15, that should give you 135, divided by 5 plus 32. Add those two numbers up, it gives you 59. Okay, so 59 Fahrenheit is the same as 15 degrees Celsius. Lisa wants to tile her kitchen floor with square tiles. She has a rectangular kitchen that measures 15 feet by 20 feet. Each square tile has an area of 2 square feet. How many tiles does Lisa need to cover her entire kitchen floor? Okay, so I find when you're doing these problems, it really helps to visualize the problem. Okay, so basically you have these tiles that are shown there in red, and you have your kitchen there on the right side. And they're telling us that the kitchen is 20 feet by 15 feet. And we have to take these tiles and basically kind of put them everywhere and cover the entire kitchen floor. So we have to find out how many of these number of tiles we need, basically. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to find out the total area of the kitchen floor. And in order to do that, you're going to use the formula for area of a rectangle, which is length times width. Remember that in the GED, you will have a page with formulas. Okay, so make sure that you are aware of that. So if we multiply the length times width, it's 15 feet times 20 feet, that's 300 square feet. All right, so that's the total surface area that we have to tile. And then the second question is, how many tiles do I need to cover that area? So in order to find that, you're going to use this equation, right? So we have the total area of the floor, and then the area of each specific tile. Okay, so they're telling us, we just found out before that the area of the floor was 300 square feet. And in the question, they're telling us that each little square tile has an area of 2 square feet. So all you have to do is divide that 300 square feet by 2 square feet, and that tells you that you need 150 tiles. Jamie is twice as old as her sister, Sophie. The sum of their ages is 36. If Sophie's age is X, what is Jamie's age? Okay, so in the question, they're giving you two pieces of data, right? The first one is that Sophie's age is X, and then it's also telling you that Jamie's age is twice as much as Sophie's, okay? So if Sophie's age is X, Jamie's is 2X, right? She's twice as old. And then they're telling you that when you add these two ages together, it gives you 36. Okay, so that's your equation right there. So all you have to do now is take that equation and solve for x. So in the left side, if you add x plus 2x, that's going to give you 3x is equal to 36. And now what you want to do is isolate that x by dividing both sides by 3. Okay, so that gives you that x is 12. But this is not the end of the problem, because remember that that we're trying to find Jamie's age, and Jamie is 2x, right? So Jamie, we're going to take that 12 and we're going to plug it into the equation for Jamie. So we would say instead of 2x, 2 times 12, which is 24. Answer C. What is the sum of the exponents in the expression below? Okay, so let's first of all remind ourselves a little bit about exponents and adding exponents. So let's say that you have an expression like this. Here, essentially, the x is what we call the base, and this number here in the top, the 2, is the exponent. So if you have an expression like this, the x here would be the base, and then these two numbers, as we said, would be the exponents. So there's a rule when you add or subtract exponents, and it's that if the base is the same, then you can add the exponents across. Okay, so here, if we add the exponents, we would just say 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. And if we were to add the whole expression, right, you would simply add the x plus the 3x, that gives you 4x, and then the exponents would be raised to the power of 8. Okay, so that's basically all there is to adding exponents. All right, so if we go back to our question, very simple, right? Look at the bases, they're all x. And all you have to do here is add those exponents. So 4 plus 3 plus 2, that's going to give you 9. Okay, so question 6 involves a number line, and I'm going to show you how to solve this problem in two ways. So it says a delivery truck is traveling along a straight road. The truck starts at position 5 miles and move 8 miles left. What is the new position? All right, so first of all, let's remind ourselves a little bit about number lines. So remember that when you have a number line, if you look at the position 0, everything to the right of 0 is going to be a positive number. And everything to the left is going to be a negative number. Okay, so if you're moving towards the right, you're going to be adding. But if you're moving towards the left, you're going to be subtracting. Okay, so if we look back at the question, and again, I'm going to show you how to do this in two ways. They're telling us that the truck starts at position 5, and they're going to move left 8 miles. Okay, so you can just look at the number line and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's where the truck ends at position -3. Or, if you remember, we said that you can also remember that if you move to the left, you're subtracting. So we could just say we're starting at position 5, and we're subtracting 8, which gives us -3. Okay, so either method works. John is planning a road trip and wants to estimate the total distance he will be driving. He plans to drive at an average speed of 60 miles per hour. If he plans to drive for 4 hours, how far will he travel? Okay, so this formula is super important for you to remember. Distance is equal to the speed that you're traveling at multiplied by the time. So in this case, they're telling us that the person is going at a speed of 60 miles per hour, and they're traveling or they're driving for 4 hours. Okay, so all you do is multiply across. That gives you 240 miles. Emily wants to buy a laptop. She finds one that costs $849, but she also needs to pay sales tax and the cost of the warranty plan. The sales tax is 8% and the warranty plan costs $99. What is the total cost of the laptop, including sales tax and the warranty plan? Okay, so here is just a lot of things that you have to kind of keep on top of, right? So they're asking you to find the total costs. So we have a laptop that we bought, we have to add the tax, and then we have to add the warranty plan. And basically you already have information for two of these three things. So what we're going to do now, the only thing we don't know is the sales tax. Okay, so in order to calculate the sales tax, first of all, we're going to change the sales tax from a percentage to a decimal. So they're telling us the sales tax is 8%. 8% is the same as saying 8 divided by 100, or 0.08. And in order to calculate, find out the sales tax, you would multiply that number by the cost of the laptop, which was $849. So that's going to give you $67.92. So if you take that sales tax and you add it to the cost of the laptop, this is actually what she paid, okay, for the laptop, $916.92. Okay, but we haven't finished, because remember that she also bought a warranty plan, and that's going to be an additional $99. Okay, so all you have to do here is just add that warranty plan, and that would give you $1,015.92. The table below shows the scores of students in a recent math test. Find the mode. Okay, so mode, median, and mean are three terms that you should know because they come up a lot in the GED. And actually here you don't have to do any math. You only have to know what mode is. So mode is simply the most frequent value. So all you have to do to answer this question is look at the table, find the value that comes up most frequently. In this case, you can see it's 80. All right, so that's the mode. And that's all there is to this question. Martha is planning to bake some cakes for a bake sale. She needs to divide a recipe that requires 3/4 cup of sugar into equal portions for 6 cakes. How much sugar in cups will each receive? So to solve the problem, you're going to take that fraction, those 3/4 of sugar, and you're going to divide it by 6, right? Because somehow we have to, with that amount of sugar, we have to divide it equally among those 6 cakes. And here, what you have to remember is that when you divide by a fraction, it's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So what is the reciprocal? So the reciprocal is when you take a fraction, like this, and you flip it around, okay? So instead of having 3/5, you're going to have 5/3. And instead of dividing, you're going to be multiplying, okay? So just a recap, dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. Okay, so in this case, remember that we were dividing 3/4. Let's go back to the original. We were dividing 3/4 by 6. So what is the reciprocal of 6? 6 is 6/1, right? So the reciprocal would be 1/6, okay? So if you multiply this out, you just multiply across. That gives you 3 in the top and 24 in the bottom. And remember that when you have fractions, they always ask you to simplify the fraction. So you want to think about what numbers can be divided by 3 or by 24, okay, which numbers they share, so that you simplify the fraction. So if we look at 3, how do you get 3? Well, by multiplying 3 times 1. How do you get 24? By multiplying 3 times 8. Okay, so that common number that they share is 3. And now it's very easy. All you have to do is cross that number out, and you have reduced or simplified your fraction to 1/8. Okay, folks, well, that's it for today. Hope you found this helpful. See you next Monday. If you found it helpful, please share with your friends, subscribe, give us a like, and as always, have a great rest of your day.